With us now is Colorado Secretary of State and candidate for State Attorney General, Jena Griswold.
It is good to see you, Secretary Griswold. Explain to me what this is going to mean for you and for voters in Colorado.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me on. The SAVES Act is a disaster. It would undermine our elections and potentially disenfranchise millions of American voters. It's akin to a 21st century poll tax. Basically, it would require potential voters, Americans who are eligible, to pay money to get new IDs or forego voting. And this isn't only going to affect a small number of people. 9% of Americans are estimated to not have the IDs required to register under this bill. It's even higher for people of color, even higher for women. 69 million women across this nation who have married and changed their last name but not updated their birth certificate may be disenfranchised. So this is more of the Trump administration and far-right Republicans trying to suppress the vote and take away our freedoms.
Well, it is that idea of being afraid of what voters will do. And I remember as chairman, making the point that you got to make your case to the voters, right? That's how you win an election. You don't win it by, just sort of trying to corral voters into a particular space, which is what this does. It creates that separation. In fact, you've got Democracy Docket on the SAVE Act noting the law would disproportionately affect voters of color, as you mentioned. Millions of people who have taken their spouses' last names, as we've talked about, and people who have changed their names may also face difficulty when registering or updating registration. So it is the little things in your life that you don't think about or that you've been able to, states have basically accommodated in their own way. This is the rub for me, is that it takes the power away from the states. For all the noise Republicans have made about the states controlling the ballot box, the states have, this is their purview. Now they want to federalize that relationship between the voters and the ballot box in a way that they control the outcomes. And that's the part that's most disturbing about this act, how it disenfranchises people. And to be clear, I don't know how you're looking at this, AG, but in my view, this is the setup for 26. This ain't about 28, baby. This is 26. This is a 26 play, because this is where we go and we lay down the seeds for how we hold the House, right? How we broaden the number in the Senate, and how you set up 28. And then you'll see what works now, and you'll improve on it by the time you get to 2028. Am I missing something or not?
I don't think so. This is the party of the insurrection, the party of Donald Trump, that has been working around the clock for years to try to take away eligible people's right to vote. And when they can't suppress the vote, well, then there's the insurrection. There's massive lies. There's massive disinformation. Trump also issued an executive order a couple of weeks ago that Colorado has joined other states to sue because it's unlawful. It's an unlawful act, but would do a lot of the same. Along the lines, he is also trying to weaponize the DOJ to go after his enemies. I think it's noteworthy to talk about the law firms that he's trying to blacklist, to talk about the executive orders, for example, against Chris Krebs, who was his appointee in the Department of Homeland Security, but spoke out about the truth of the 2020 election. He fired him. Now he's issued an executive order to investigate him because Trump cannot admit he lost the 2020 election still to this day. And he's now trying to rewrite history, rewrite the laws so that it's harder for him and his party to lose. And he's trying to erase what has happened in this country from our memories. But we can't forget, we have to remember, and we have to fight back.
The New York Times writes about that executive order punishing Mr. Krebs. They write that the executive order punishing Mr. Krebs referred to Mr. Trump's debunked claims, asserting that Mr. Krebs had, quote, denied that the 2020 election was rigged and stolen, including by inappropriately and categorically dismissing widespread election malfeasance and serious vulnerabilities with voting machines. That is just not, it's important for us to say that none of what this executive order alleges happened. That's not true. He also signed an executive order targeting Miles Taylor along the same lines. So to build off what Michael laid on the table, what then are you telling folks about 2026? I know you have now cast your hat, your die or feather in the cap. I'm not feeling well this morning, y'all, so my analogies are not good. But you're in the race for Attorney General. But I fundamentally believe, as Michael has said, that they are setting up a way to, quote unquote, legally decide, and I'm using quotes when I say legal because I don't think it's legal, but for them to be able to say they have the law behind them and decide who wins and who loses elections. We're already seeing it in North Carolina.
That's what voter suppression bills are about. That's what Trump and the MAGA movement has been doing since 2020, trying to suppress the vote, tilt the election, and when it doesn't go their way, use the court system to try to grab power. All of this is about Trump illegally grabbing power. And you're right, on Monday, I announced that I'm running for Attorney General, and I'm running to hold Trump and Elon Musk accountable for their illegal and unconstitutional acts. I think we need more fighters standing up for the American people, standing up for the middle class. You know, I grew up in a cabin with an outhouse outside on food stamps. I'm first in my family to go to a four-year college. I know what it means to struggle. And I know that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are not working to help the American people, but we do need elected officials to do that. You know, if your viewers want to join my campaign, they can visit jennaforcolorado.com. But I look forward to defending our rights, from the right to vote to the right to reproductive freedom, hopefully when elected as Attorney General in Colorado.